Hi folks, welcome to another Theben Technic Talk. So what is our content of today? So we want to update you how to calibrate a KNX sensor. When is this needed? So for instance, if you or your client have the discovery that the value, the lux value which is sent from a reasonable sensor installed on a ceiling varies to the value on a light value which you get on the surface, on your table or wherever. So then probably there is a need to do a recalibration. You need to know finally that if you take a lux meter and you walk within a room or a space, however, so you will never have in different spots exactly the same light value. So be tolerant in terms of accuracy. 20, 30 lux is really nothing which is real spectacular in inaccuracy, and it's hardly to sense with the human eye. So what is our, let's say, study? We do have here in our studio here inside a sensor. In our case, we have used the Theben series from Theben, installed here in the ceiling next to me. We do have here a lux meter which I'm using, and we do have the ETS. And I will open now the view to the ETS. I've prepared, so precondition, I've prepared, let's say, two group addresses which are essential. One group address is finally, which we have to activate in our present sensor, is send the lux value. So that means the sensor has to give us from the ceiling the reasonable value what it finally he is measuring. Always affected by the colors, by the surfaces, by reflections, shadows and whatever. And we need to have the other group address, which is value on lux meter. So that means we measure finally the lux value, and this lux value we can give to this group address, and we calibrate finally the sensor internally accordingly. For that purpose I switch to this view, so that means here to the lux meter, and currently we get a reasonable value. You see, I just put my hands on and you see there is immediately, let's say, feedback visible. Okay, so precondition, we need to have this one here. Okay, so next step. So I want to get the real values which I currently receive. For that purpose, I open here diagnostics. So that means the bus monitor, and I start the bus monitor, and I'm just waiting for, so what is finally the current lux value which I receive from the sensor from the ceiling. You see, we do have here almost 800 lux currently received from the ceiling, but when we put the lux meter directly straight underneath the sensor, so we get approximately 660 lux of value. So there is an inaccuracy in a certain instant. This is finally important to calibrate if you are going for, let's say, a constant light control. So then if you have really a set and calibrated accordingly, so then you have really high efficiency and a most best result. Okay, so how we proceed. So I open here, just as an example, I open here the communication object 002 or the group address 002 and click OK. So now I take here the value 660, which I measure currently from the lux meter here, so exactly next to me, and I just click here on write. Yeah, and I should get exactly, we do have here 660, so we have a certain inaccuracy again, so I clear it. Okay, so then we do have immediately the update. So we have approximately now 640 lux, so that means we do have here a certain inaccuracy of approximately 20 lux. This is exactly what I meant. Okay, we have to tolerate. What you discover, I did a small step aside, so I come closer to the sensor. And what is your discovery now? We do have here exactly the lux meter 640, and look at this. So we are almost at the same level. So that means always the sensor is affected by reflections, by shadows and whatnot, by let's say lights from here in our studio, however. So be a little bit tolerant, but you see definitively now you are definitively by far closer to the reality like before. Okay, that's it.